The coffee shop was packed, the afternoon crowd filling every table and chair. Tanya Washington clutched her worn purse tighter as she waited in line, counting the crumpled bills in her wallet. $347. Enough for a small coffee, nothing more. She'd been living like this for months, scraping by on her part-time bookkeeping job, but today was different. Today, she had a job interview at a small accounting firm, and she desperately needed the caffeine to calm her nerves. The familiar laugh made her blood run cold. She turned slowly, hoping she was wrong. But there he was. Jerome Patterson sat at a corner table, his expensive suit and gold watch glinting under the lights. Her ex-boyfriend looked exactly the same as the day she'd run from their apartment 6 months ago, leaving behind everything she owned except the clothes on her back and her grandmother's wedding ring. Jerome hadn't seen her yet, but he would. The coffee shop was small, and she was trapped in the middle of the line with nowhere to go. Her heart hammered against her ribs as memories flooded back his hands around her throat. The hospital visit she'd lied about, the bruises she'd covered with makeup for weeks. He turned his head, scanning the room with those cold, dark eyes that had once seemed charming. In seconds, he would spot her. Tanya's breathing became shallow, panic rising in her chest like a tide. She couldn't face him. Not here, not alone. Without thinking, she spun around and grabbed the arm of the man standing behind her in line. He was tall, dressed in an expensive charcoal suit with kind brown eyes that widened in surprise as she suddenly wrapped her arms around him in a tight embrace. "Please," she whispered desperately against his chest, her voice barely audible. "Please, just pretend you know me. Please." The man stiffened for a moment, clearly confused. But something in her voice must have reached him. Instead of pushing her away, his arms came up slowly to encircle her, his hand resting gently on her back. "It's okay," he said softly, his voice deep and reassuring. "Whatever it is, it's okay." Tanya pressed her face against his shoulder, breathing in the clean scent of his cologne. She could hear Jerome's chair scraping against the floor, his footsteps approaching. Her whole body trembled as she held on to the stranger like he was her lifeline. "Ah!" Jerome's voice was right behind her now. That same smooth tone he'd used when he wanted something. She felt the stranger's arms tighten protectively around her. "Is there a problem?" The man's voice was calm but firm as he turned slightly, keeping Tanya sheltered against his side. "No problem," Jerome replied, but Tanya could hear the confusion and anger in his voice. "I just thought I recognized my..." what? The stranger's tone grew cooler. There was a long pause. Tanya couldn't see Jerome's face, but she could imagine his expression, the way his jaw would tighten when he didn't get his way, the flash of temper in his eyes. "Nobody," Jerome finally said, "must have been mistaken." Tanya heard his footsteps retreating, but she didn't dare move. She stayed pressed against the stranger's chest, feeling the steady rhythm of his heartbeat through his shirt. He didn't try to push her away or ask questions. He just held her, one hand, rubbing gentle circles on her back while they stood in line together. "He's gone," the man said quietly after several minutes. "You can look if you want." Tanya lifted her head slowly, her eyes scanning the coffee shop. Jerome's table was empty, his expensive jacket no longer draped over the chair. Relief flooded through her so intensely that her knees almost buckled. "Thank you," she whispered, stepping back and immediately missing the warmth of his embrace. "I'm so sorry. I know that was crazy, but you don't need to explain," he said gently. "I'm Benjamin, by the way. Benjamin Cross." Tanya, she wiped at her eyes, hoping her makeup wasn't completely ruined. Tanya Washington. Benjamin had the kindest eyes she'd ever seen, warm and brown like coffee with cream. His face was handsome, but not in the sharp, aggressive way that had first attracted her to Jerome. This man's features were softer, more genuine. There were laugh lines around his eyes and a small scar on his chin that somehow made him seem more real, more human. "Are you okay?" he asked, studying her face with genuine concern. Do you need me to call someone? The police? No, Tanya said quickly, shaking her head. No police. It's complicated. Benjamin nodded like he understood. Would you like to sit down? You look like you could use a few minutes. Tanya glanced toward the door, half expecting to see Jerome waiting outside. I should probably go. I have somewhere to be, and I've already caused enough trouble. The only trouble would be if you passed out from shock, Benjamin said with a small smile. At least let me buy you something to drink. Coffee, hot chocolate. She wanted to refuse. Pride demanded she refuse. She'd been taking care of herself for months, proving she didn't need anyone's help or pity. But the kindness in his voice, the genuine concern in his eyes, made her defenses crumble just a little. Coffee would be nice, she admitted quietly, but I can pay for my own. I insist, Benjamin said firmly but gently. After what you just went through, it's the least I can do. They reached the front of the line, and Benjamin ordered 2 large coffees and a selection of pastries that made Tanya's stomach growl embarrassingly loud. She hadn't eaten since yesterday morning, saving her money for bus fare to the interview. I heard that, Benjamin said with a knowing smile, adding a sandwich to their order. My treat. Tanya wanted to protest, but the exhaustion of living on, the edge for so long suddenly hit her. She was tired of being strong, tired of pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. For just this moment, she let herself accept his kindness. They found a quiet table by the window, away from the crowds. Benjamin sat across from her, his posture relaxed but alert, like he was ready to spring into action if she needed him to. It had been so long since someone had made her feel safe that she'd almost forgotten what it felt like. Better? He asked as she took her first sip of the hot coffee. Much better. She wrapped her hands around the cup, letting the warmth seep through her palms. I really can't thank you enough. What you did back there. Most people would have just walked away. Most people haven't seen that look in someone's eyes before, Benjamin said quietly. You look terrified. Tanya stared down at her coffee, not trusting herself to speak. He was right, of course. She had been terrified. Even now, sitting in this safe, warm place with this kind stranger, her hands were still shaking slightly. Do you want to talk about it? Benjamin asked gently. Not really, Tanya said honestly. It's a long, ugly story, and you've already done more than enough. Benjamin nodded, not pushing. Instead, he changed the subject, asking her about her job, her interests, making comfortable small talk that helped her nerves settle. He was easy to talk to, genuinely interested in her answers, and he had a way of listening that made her feel like what she had to say actually mattered. I should probably head to my interview, Tanya said reluctantly after they'd been talking for almost an hour. The afternoon was slipping away, and she couldn't afford to be late. Of course. Benjamin stood when she did. Ever the gentleman, I hope it goes well. Thank you again, she said, meaning it more than he could possibly know, for everything. Wait, Benjamin said as she turned to leave. He pulled out a business card from his wallet and handed it to her. If you ever need anything, and I mean anything, please call me, even if it's just to talk. Tanya took the card, her fingers brushing against his briefly. The card was thick, expensive, with elegant lettering that read Benjamin Cross, Co-Industries. Her eyes widened as she recognized the name Cross Industries was one of the biggest tech companies in the city. Yours, she started to say, but Benjamin held up a hand. I'm just someone who believes in helping people when they need it, he said simply, and something tells me you could use a friend. Tanya looked down at the card, again, then back at Benjamin's kind face. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, Benjamin replied. Just don't throw it away, okay? She nodded, tucking the card carefully into her purse. I won't. As she walked toward the door, Tanya felt something she hadn't experienced in months' hope, not just because of Benjamin's kindness, though that meant more to her than he could know, but because for the first time since she'd run from Jerome, she didn't feel completely alone in the world. She turned back once before leaving the coffee shop and saw Benjamin still standing by their table, watching to make sure she got out safely. When their eyes met, he smiled and gave her a small wave. Tanya smiled back, feeling something warm unfurl in her chest that had nothing to do with the coffee. Maybe, just maybe, things were about to change for the better. Tanya's hands were still trembling as she walked down the busy street toward the accounting firm. The business card felt warm in her palm where she'd been clutching it since leaving the coffee shop. Benjamin Cross, CEO Cross Industries. She'd heard of the company everyone in the city had. They made software that helped small businesses manage their finances, and their headquarters took up an entire city block downtown. She couldn't believe she'd thrown herself into the arms of someone so important, so powerful. The embarrassment made her cheeks burn as she replayed the scene in her mind. He could have called security, could have pushed her away, could have made a scene. Instead, he protected her, like she actually mattered to him. The job interview was a disaster from the moment she walked in. Her hair was still messed up from pressing against Benjamin's shoulder. Her lipstick had worn off, and she couldn't stop her hands from shaking long enough to fill out the application properly. The interviewer, a thin man with sharp eyes and an impatient manner, looked her up and down with obvious disapproval. "Miss Washington, I have to be honest," he said after asking her only 3 questions. "We're looking for someone with more experience and someone who presents themselves more professionally." Tanya felt her face flush with shame. She'd worn her best outfit, a navy blue dress she'd bought at a thrift store and a blazer that had seen better days. Her shoes were scuffed, and she couldn't afford to get her hair done professionally, but she thought she looked acceptable. "I understand," she said quietly, standing to leave. "Thank you for your time." Walking back to her tiny studio apartment, Tanya felt the familiar weight of failure settling on her shoulders. She'd been so hopeful about this job, had even allowed herself to imagine what it would feel like to have steady income again, to not have to choose between groceries and electricity. Her phone buzzed as she climbed the 3 flights of stairs to her apartment. The number was unfamiliar, but she answered anyway. "Hello, Tanya. This is Benjamin Cross. We met at the coffee shop earlier." Her heart skipped a beat. "Oh, hi. I hope you don't mind me calling. I got your number from the business card you filled out for the coffee shop's loyalty program." Tanya remembered scribbling her information on the little card, hoping to earn enough points for a free drink. "Someday." "It's fine," she said, unlocking her apartment door with her free hand. "How did your interview go?" The kindness in his voice almost undid her. She'd been holding it together all day, but something about his genuine concern made her defenses crumble. "Not great," she admitted, sinking onto her second-hand couch. "Actually, it was pretty terrible." "I'm sorry to hear that," Benjamin said, and she could tell he meant it. Their loss, honestly. Anyone who can stay composed under pressure the way you did today would be an asset to any company. "I don't know about that," Tanya said with a bitter laugh. "I think throwing myself at strangers in coffee shops probably doesn't count as staying composed." "You were protecting yourself," Benjamin said firmly. "That takes courage." There was something in his tone that made her think he understood more about fear than most people would expect from someone in his position. It made her curious about him, this wealthy man who'd shown such kindness to a complete stranger. "Can I ask you something?" Benjamin said after a moment. "Sure. Are you looking for work?" "Full-time work?" "I mean," Tanya's pulse quickened. "Yes, why? I have a position that might interest you. It's not glamorous. Basically managing my personal finances, scheduling some light administrative work, but it pays well and has good benefits." Tanya sat up straighter. "Are you offering me a job?" "I'm offering you an opportunity," Benjamin said carefully. "If you're interested, we could meet tomorrow and discuss the details." Pride weird with desperation in Tanya's chest. She needed the money desperately, but the idea of accepting charity from someone she just met made her stomach twist with shame. "I don't know," she said slowly. "I don't want you to feel like you have to help me because of what happened today." "Tanya," Benjamin said gently, "I'm not offering you this job out of pity. I genuinely need help. And after talking with you today, I think you'd be perfect for it. You're smart, organized, and you handle pressure well. Plus, I need someone I can trust. And something tells me you're one of the most trustworthy people I'll ever meet." His words warmed her in a way she hadn't felt in months. When was the last time someone had seen her potential instead of just her problems? "What would the salary be?" she asked hesitantly. Benjamin named a figure that made her nearly drop the phone. It was more than twice what she'd made at her last. Full-time job, more than she dared hope for. That's very generous," she managed to say. "It's fair compensation for the work involved," Benjamin said simply. "So what do you think? Are you interested in hearing more?" Tanya looked around her tiny apartment at the kitchen table that served as her desk, the couch that folded out into her bed, the windows that didn't quite close properly and let in the cold. She thought about her grandmother, who was getting older and needed more help. She thought about the bills piling up on her counter and the fear that had become her constant companion. "Yes," she said before she could second-guess herself. "I'm very interested." "Excellent. Can you meet me at my office tomorrow morning? Say 9 o'clock. I'll be there," Tanya promised. "And Tanya," Benjamin's voice was warm, "don't worry about what to wear. Just be yourself." After they hung up, Tanya sat in the gathering darkness of her apartment, hardly daring to believe what had just happened. In the span of a few hours, her life had gone from hopeless to hopeful, all because she'd been brave enough to trust a stranger with kind eyes. She pulled out Benjamin's business card and stared at the elegant lettering. Cross Industries had a reputation for treating their employees well, for caring about more than just profits. If even half the stories she'd heard were true, Benjamin Cross was nothing like the powerful men she encountered before, men like Jerome, who used their strength to hurt instead of help. For the first time in months, Tanya allowed herself to think about the future without fear. Maybe, just maybe, her luck was finally changing. The next morning, she stood outside the gleaming glass towers of Cross Industries, wearing her best dress and shoes she'd stayed up late polishing. She was early as always, and she used the extra time to steady her nerves and prepare for whatever came next. As she walked through the marble lobby toward the elevator, Tanya caught a reflection in the polished surfaces. She looked nervous but determined, hopeful, but realistic. Most importantly, she looked like someone who deserved a chance. And for the first time in a very long time, she believed it too. The elevator ride to the 40th floor felt like it lasted forever. Tanya watched the numbers climb, her reflection multiplying in the polished steel doors. She'd researched Cross Industries online until late into the night, learning everything she could about the company and its CEO. Benjamin Cross had built his tech empire from nothing, starting with a small software company in his college dorm room and growing into $1 billion corporation. But what impressed her most were the articles about his charitable work, scholarship programs for underprivileged students, funding for women's shelters, donations to causes that actually help people instead of just looking good in the press. The elevator doors opened to reveal a reception area that looked more like a luxury hotel lobby than a corporate office. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered stunning views of the city, and fresh flowers adorned every surface. The receptionist, a woman about Tanya's age with warm brown skin and a genuine smile, looked up from her computer. "You must be Tanya Washington," she said, rising from her desk. "I'm Nicole. Mr. Cross is expecting you." "Thank you," Tanya said, following Nicole down a hallway lined with awards and photos of company events. Everyone in the pictures looked genuinely happy, not like the forced corporate smile she was used to seeing. "He's really excited to meet with you," Nicole said as they walked. "He came in extra early this morning to prepare. That's unusual for him. He's usually here by 7 o'clock anyway. But today he was here by 5:30. Tanya felt a flutter of nerves. He didn't have to do that. "Mr. Cross doesn't do anything he doesn't want to do," Nicole said with a knowing smile. "Trust me on that." They stopped in front of a heavy wooden door with Benjamin's name engraved on a brass plate. Nicole knocked once and opened the door without waiting for a response. "Tanya Washington is here, sir. Send her in, please." And Nicole, "Hold my calls for the next hour." Benjamin's office was nothing like what Tanya had expected. Instead of the cold, intimidating space she'd imagined it, felt warm and welcoming. The walls were lined with bookshelves filled with everything from business texts to classic novels. A comfortable seating area with soft leather chairs occupied one corner, and his desk was organized, but lived in with family photos and a coffee mug that read, "World's Most Adequate Boss." Benjamin stood as she entered, and Tanya was struck again by how genuinely kind his eyes were. He was dressed more casually today, navy slacks, and a light blue shirt with the sleeves rolled up, no tie. It made him seem more approachable, less intimidating. "Tanya, thank you for coming," he said, walking around his desk to greet her. "How are you feeling today?" "Better," she said. "Honestly, much better. Thanks to you. I'm glad to hear that. Please sit, wherever you're comfortable." Tanya chose one of the leather chairs in the seating area, and Benjamin took the one across from her rather than retreating behind his desk. It was a small gesture, but it made her feel like they were having a conversation between equals rather than a formal interview. "Can I get you anything? Coffee, tea, water?" "Coffee would be great, if it's not too much trouble." Benjamin pressed a button on his phone. "Nicole, could you bring us some coffee, please? And maybe some of those pastries from the bakery downstairs." "Right away, sir." As they waited, Benjamin asked her about her morning, her trip downtown, small things that help her relax. When Nicole arrived with a tray of coffee and an assortment of beautiful pastries, Tanya's stomach betrayed her with another embarrassingly loud growl. "Please help yourself," Benjamin said, pushing the plate toward her. "I had Nicole get extra because I figured you might not have had time for breakfast." Tanya selected a blueberry muffin, gratefully, trying not to think about how long it had been since she'd eaten something so delicious. The coffee was perfect too, rich and smooth. Nothing like the bitter brew she made at home with her discount grocery store grounds. "So," Benjamin said, settling back in his chair with his own coffee, "let me tell you about the position." For the next 30 minutes, he outlined the job duties. It was exactly as he described on the phone, managing his personal calendar, handling his private finances, coordinating with his household staff, and various administrative tasks. The work seemed interesting and varied, nothing like the mind-numbing data entry she'd been doing at temp jobs. "The salary we discussed is non-negotiable," Benjamin said, naming the figure again. "But that's the starting salary. There are performance bonuses, full health benefits, dental, vision for weeks paid, vacation, and a retirement plan with company matching." Tanya nearly choked on her coffee. The benefits package alone was worth more than some jobs paid in total. "That's incredibly generous," she managed to say. "It's standard for all my employees," Benjamin said simply. "I believe in taking care of the people who work with me." "Work with you," Tanya repeated. "Not for you?" Benjamin smiled. "I've learned that the best work happens when people feel like partners, not subordinates. Obviously, there's a hierarchy. Final decisions on business matters are mine, but I value everyone's input." It sounded too good to be true, but something in his manner convinced her he meant every word. "Can I ask you something?" Tanya said. "Of course." "Why me?" "I mean, you could hire someone with an MBA, someone with experience working for executives. I'm just a bookkeeper who couldn't even get hired at a two-person accounting firm yesterday." Benjamin sat down his coffee and leaned forward slightly. Do you want the honest answer? Tanya nodded. Because you're real, he said simply. Do you have any idea how rare that is in my world? Most people who want to work for me are either trying to climb some corporate ladder or they want access to my money and connections. You didn't even know who I was when you talked to me yesterday, and you were just yourself. Genuine, kind, smart. Those are the qualities I value most, but I don't have the qualifications. You have a degree in business administration with a focus on accounting, Benjamin interrupted gently. You manage the books for 3 small businesses simultaneously while working part-time at a retail store. You've been supporting yourself and helping your grandmother while living on almost nothing, and you've never missed a payment on anything. Nicole did a basic background check, nothing invasive, just confirming what you told me. Your references say you're reliable, honest, and excellent with details. What more qualifications do I need? Tanya felt tears prick her eyes. It had been so long since someone had seen her. Accomplishments instead of her failures. Her strengths instead of her weaknesses. The only question is, Benjamin continued, are you interested in the position? Tanya thought about her grandmother, who needed medication that wasn't fully covered by Medicare. She thought about her tiny apartment with its broken heater and the stack of bills on her kitchen counter. She thought about the fear that had ruled her life for months, the constant worry about money and safety in the future. But mostly she thought about the man sitting across from her who had every reason to ignore her problems but had chosen to help instead, who was offering her not just a job, but a chance at a real life. Yes, she said, her voice stronger than she'd felt in months. I'm very interested. Benjamin's smile was radiant. Excellent. When can you start? Tomorrow if you need me to. Let's say Monday. That gives you the weekend to get organized. Nicole will set up your workspace and get you all the necessary paperwork. She'll also arrange for you to meet with our security team. Just standard procedure for anyone who works closely with me. They spend another few minutes going over practical details, hours, dress code, whatever makes you comfortable and confident, parking arrangements, and other logistics. Through it all, Benjamin remained patient and thorough, making sure she understood everything. One last thing, he said as their meeting wound down. This job involves managing some very personal aspects of my life. You'll know details about my finances, my schedule, my personal relationships. I need to know that you're comfortable with that level of confidentiality. Absolutely. Tanya said without hesitation. Your privacy is safe with me. Something in Benjamin's expression shifted, became more serious. I hope you understand that this goes both ways. If you ever need anything, and I mean anything, please, don't hesitate to ask. My employees aren't just workers to me. They're people I care about. The sincerity in his voice made her throat tight with emotion. Thank you, she whispered, for everything. You have no idea what this means to me. I think I have some idea, Benjamin said gently. And Tanya, I have a feeling this is going to work out very well for both of us. As Tanya rode the elevator back down to the lobby, she felt like she was floating. In less than 24 hours, her entire life had changed. She had a job that paid more than she'd ever dreamed of, working for a man who seemed to genuinely care about her well-being. For the first time since she'd run from Jerome, Tanya felt like she might actually be safe. Monday morning arrived with a crisp October breeze and the first real sense of hope Tanya had felt in months. She stood in front of her tiny bathroom mirror, applying the drugstore lipstick she'd splurged on over the weekend, and tried to calm her nerves. Today was her first day working for Benjamin Cross, and she was determined to prove that his faith in her hadn't been misplaced. She'd used part of her last $20 to get her hair properly styled at a discount salon, and she'd spent hours pressing her best outfit until every wrinkle disappeared. Looking at herself now, she felt more professional and confident than she had in months. The commute to Cross Industries felt different this time. Instead of the desperate anxiety that had accompanied her job interviews, She felt a quiet excitement building in her chest. She was about to start a real job, with real pay and real benefits. More than that, she was about to work for someone who had already shown her more kindness than she'd received from anyone in years. Nicole was waiting for her in the lobby at exactly 8 o'clock, holding a coffee cup and wearing the same warm smile that had made Tanya feel welcome during her interview. "Good morning. Sunshine," Nicole said, handing her the coffee. "Welcome to your first day. Mister, Cross wanted to make sure you had your coffee exactly how you like it. Cream, no sugar, right?" Tanya accepted the cup gratefully, touched that Benjamin had remembered such a small detail. "That's perfect. Thank you. Come on, let me show you to your office." They rode the elevator to the 40th floor. But instead of turning toward Benjamin's office, Nicole led her down a different hallway to a door with a nameplate that read, "Tanya Washington, Executive Assistant." Tanya's breath caught in her throat as Nicole opened the door to reveal a beautiful office with a large window overlooking the city. "This is mine," Tanya whispered. "All yours." Nicole confirmed. "Mr. Cross had it set up over the weekend. He wanted to make sure you had everything you needed." The office was perfect, spacious but cozy, with a large desk, comfortable chair, and a small seating area by the window. Fresh flowers sat in a vase on her desk, and there was even a small refrigerator stocked with water and snacks in one corner. "He really didn't have to do all this," Tanya said, running her hand along the smooth surface of the desk. "That's just how he is," Nicole said fondly. "He believes that when people feel valued, they do their best work. And trust me, after working here for 3 years, I can tell you he's right." Nicole spent the next hour showing Tanya around the office, introducing her to other staff members, and explaining the various systems she'd need to learn. Everyone was friendly and welcoming, and several people mentioned how excited Benjamin had been about hiring her. "He's been talking about getting a personal assistant for months," said Patricia, the head of accounting. "But he's very particular about who he trusts with his private affairs. The fact that he hired you so quickly says a lot about his impression of you." At 9:30, Nicole knocked on Tanya's office door. "Mr. Cross would like to see you in his office when you have a moment." Tanya found Benjamin standing by his window, looking out at the city with a cup of coffee in his hand. He turned when she entered, his face lighting up with a genuine smile that made her heart flutter in a way she wasn't quite ready to examine. "Tanya, good morning. How's your first day going so far?" "It's wonderful," she said honestly. "Thank you so much for the office. It's beautiful, but you really didn't need to." "Stop right there," Benjamin said gently but firmly. "You work for a billion-dollar company now. You deserve a proper workspace just like everyone else here. No apologies necessary." He gestured to the seating area where they talked during her interview. This time there were 2 steaming cups of coffee waiting, along with a plate of pastries, and what looked like a small gift box wrapped in elegant silver paper. "What's that?" Tanya asked, nodding toward the box. "A welcome gift," Benjamin said, looking almost shy. "Nothing elaborate, just something practical for your new job." Tanya opened the box carefully and gasped. Inside was a beautiful leather portfolio with her initials embossed in gold, along with a set of high-quality pens, and a small notebook bound in matching leather. "Benjamin, this is too much," she said, running her fingers over the smooth leather. "It's really not," he assured her. "Every executive needs proper tools, and you're representing me now. I want you to have the best." They spent the next 2 hours going over Benjamin's schedule and priorities. He had meetings lined up for most of the week, a charity gala on Saturday night, and a business trip to Seattle the following month. Tanya took detailed notes, asking thoughtful questions that seemed to impress him. "You catch on quickly," he observed as they wrapped up their meeting. "I've had to," Tanya said without thinking, then immediately regretted the comment. She didn't want to sound like she was looking for sympathy. But Benjamin's expression grew thoughtful rather than pitying. "That kind of adaptability is a real strength," he said. "Not everyone can." Handle change and pressure the way you do. Over the following weeks, Tanya settled into her new role with surprising ease. Benjamin was an ideal boss, demanding but fair, trusting but supportive. He never micromanaged her work, instead giving her clear expectations and then letting her exceed them in her own way. The work itself was more interesting than she'd expected. Managing Benjamin's personal finances gave her insight into a world she'd never imagined. Investments, charitable donations, property management. He owned 3 homes, supported dozens of causes, and had more money than some small countries. But what struck her most was how thoughtfully he used his wealth. Every donation was carefully researched, every investment considered for its impact on jobs and communities. "You're very thorough," Benjamin commented one afternoon as she presented him with a detailed report on his quarterly charitable giving. "I appreciate how you've organized everything by impact and sustainability rather than just dollar amounts. I figured you want to know which donations are making the biggest difference," Tanya said, pleased by his approval. "Exactly. See, this is why I knew you'd be perfect for this job." It was moments like these that made Tanya's chest warm with pride. She'd been so focused on just surviving for so long that she'd forgotten what it felt like to excel at something, to have her skills recognized and valued. But it wasn't just Benjamin's professional praise that meant so much to her. It was the small kindnesses he showed every day. The way he always asked about her grandmother's health, how he made sure she took proper lunch breaks, the coffee that appeared on her desk every morning, prepared exactly how she liked it. 2 weeks into the job, Tanya noticed her shoes were getting worse. The soles had worn thin, and she could feel every crack in the sidewalk during her walk from the bus stop. She'd been saving up to replace them, but between helping her grandmother with medication costs and catching up on her own bills, new shoes weren't in the budget yet. She thought she'd been hiding it well, but Benjamin had sharp eyes. "Nicole," she heard him say one morning as she walked past his office, "I need you to arrange for all department heads to receive updated workplace guidelines. Specifically, I want to emphasize that the company provides an annual clothing allowance for all employees. Make sure everyone understands this is standard policy, not optional." 20 minutes later, Nicole appeared at Tanya's desk with a form and a company credit card. "Congratulations," Nicole said with a knowing smile. "You've just been reminded of a benefit you probably didn't know you had. Annual clothing allowance, $500 for professional wardrobe needs. Mr. Cross wants you to use it by the end of the week." Tanya stared at the credit card. "Nicole, I can't." "Yes, you can," Nicole said firmly. "It's company policy. Everyone gets it. Patricia in accounting, James and it, even the security guards. Mr. Cross believes that when people look professional, they feel professional. But I just started, which means you probably need professional clothes more than anyone," Nicole pointed out. "Look, Tanya, I've worked here long enough to know that when Mr. Cross implements a policy, it's because he genuinely believes it's right. He's not singling you out for charity. He's making sure all his employees have what they need to succeed." That afternoon, Tanya found herself in a department store she'd never dreamed of shopping in, selecting 2 pairs of high-quality shoes, several blouses, and a beautiful jacket that made her feel confident and professional. When she returned to work the next day wearing her new shoes, Benjamin smiled approvingly. "Much better," he said simply. "Those look comfortable." "They are," Tanya said, grateful that he didn't make a big deal about it. "Thank you for the clothing allowance policy." "Thank you for following it," Benjamin replied. "I need my assistant to look as professional as she is competent." As the days passed, Tanya found herself looking forward to work in a way she never had before. Benjamin treated her like a valued colleague rather than just an employee. He asked for her opinions on everything from meeting schedules to investment strategies, and he actually listened to her answers. "What do you think about moving the Seattle trip to November?" he asked one morning, showing her his calendar. "The weather might be better, and it would give us more time to prepare the presentation." "I think That's smart, Tanya said, making a note to contact his travel coordinator. Plus, it would avoid conflicting with the United Way campaign launch that you wanted to attend. Good catch, Benjamin said. See, this is exactly why. I needed someone with your attention to detail. But it wasn't just work where Benjamin showed his caring nature. When Tanya mentioned that her grandmother had a doctor's appointment that conflicted with an important meeting, Benjamin immediately rearranged the schedule. Family comes first, he said firmly. Always. I can meet. Beautiful silk scarf in deep emerald green. The note attached was written in Benjamin's neat handwriting. I noticed you shivering at the bus stop yesterday morning. The color matches her eyes. Beer breath caught in her throat. Benjamin had been shivering at the bus stop. She hadn't even seen him, and he'd noticed the color of her eyes. Everything okay? Nicole asked, noticing Tanya's expression. He's very observant, Tanya said quietly, running her fingers over the soft silk. That he is. Nicole agreed with a knowing look. Mr. Cross notices everything about the people he cares about. Later that morning, Tanya knocked on Benjamin's office door wearing the scarf with her navy dress. Thank you, she said simply. It's beautiful. Benjamin looked up from his computer, and his face lit up when he saw her wearing the scarf. It looks perfect on you, he said. And you're right. It does match your eyes exactly. Tanya felt warmth spread through her chest that had nothing to do with the scarf's protection from the cold. You didn't have to. I wanted to, Benjamin said softly. You work hard, Tanya. You deserve to be warm. As the weeks passed, Benjamin's small gestures continued. When he learned that Tanya loved to read but couldn't afford new books, he started leaving novels on her desk, always claiming they were books he'd finished and thought she might enjoy. When she mentioned missing her grandmother's cooking, he arranged the company cafeteria to serve Dorothy's famous sweet potato pie recipe. How did you even get the recipe? Tanya asked, amazed by the thoughtfulness of the gesture. I called your grandmother and asked, Benjamin said with a grin. She was suspicious at first, but once I explained that I wanted to make sure you felt at home here, she warmed up. We had a lovely conversation about you. Actually, what did she say? Tanya asked, both touched and terrified. That you're the strongest person she knows, and that anyone lucky enough to work with you better treat you right. Benjamin said, his expression growing serious. I assured her that I intend to do exactly that, but it was the way. Benjamin included her in things that meant the most when important clients visited. He made sure to introduce her as a valued member of his team, not just as assistant. When the company celebrated quarterly successes, her contributions were recognized alongside everyone else's. The Johnson account renewal was entirely due to Tanya's attention to detail. Benjamin announced at a company meeting. She caught discrepancies in their billing that saved them $30,000 and solidified their trust in us for another 3 years. Tanya felt proud in a way she'd never experienced before. She wasn't just surviving anymore, she was thriving. One evening in late November, as she was preparing to leave the office, Benjamin appeared at her door looking slightly nervous. Do you have dinner plans tonight? He asked. Tanya's heart fluttered. No, nothing special. Why? I was wondering if you'd like to join me for dinner. Nothing fancy, he added quickly. There's a little Italian place near here that makes amazing pasta, and I hate eating alone. Tanya hesitated. In the week she'd been working for Benjamin, their relationship had remained strictly professional, despite the obvious care he showed for her well-being. Having dinner together felt like crossing a line, though she wasn't sure which side of the line she wanted to be on. I don't know if that's appropriate, she said carefully. You're probably right, Benjamin said, looking disappointed but understanding. I just thought we work well together, and I enjoy your company, but I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Looking into his kind eyes, Tanya realized she wasn't uncomfortable with the idea of dinner. She was scared of letting someone get close again, scared of trusting her judgment about men, scared the way her heart raced whenever Benjamin smiled at her. But she was also tired of being scared. Actually, she said, surprising herself, "Dinner sounds nice." Benjamin's face brightened. "Really? You're sure?" "I'm sure," Tanya said and meant it. "As long as you promise not to talk about work." "Deal," Benjamin said with a grin. "Though I have to warn you, I'm much more interesting when I'm talking about business." "Somehow I doubt that," Tanya said, and the warmth in Benjamin's eyes told her she was right. As they walked to the restaurant together, Tanya marveled at how natural it felt. For the first time in months, she wasn't looking over her shoulder or worrying about what tomorrow would bring. She was just enjoying the company of a good man who made her feel valued and safe. Maybe, just maybe, she was ready to start trusting her heart again. December arrived with a bitter cold snap that made Chicago feel like the North Pole. Tanya wrapped Benjamin's emerald scarf tighter around her neck as she climbed the steps to her apartment building, grateful for the warmth it provided. It had been a long but satisfying day at work. She'd successfully coordinated a major client presentation and received praise from both Benjamin and the entire project team. Her relationship with Benjamin had deepened over the past few weeks. They'd shared several more dinners, always casual and friendly, but there was an undercurrent of something more that neither of them had acknowledged aloud. He made her laugh in ways she'd forgotten were possible, and she found herself looking forward to Monday mornings for the first time in her life. As she reached the third-floor landing, Tanya noticed her apartment door was slightly ajar. Her blood turned to ice. She always locked her door, always. Living alone had taught her to be careful about security, especially after everything with Jerome. She pulled out her phone, ready to call 911 when a familiar voice called out from inside her apartment. "I know you're out there, Tanya. Come on in. We need to talk." Jerome. Her hands started shaking as memories flooded back his temper, his demands, the way he'd made her feel, small and worthless. How had he found her? She'd been so careful. Had even changed her phone number after moving. "I'm calling the police," she called out, her voice stronger than she felt. "No, you're not," Jerome said, appearing. In her doorway, he looked exactly the same, tall, handsome in a sharp-edged way. Expensive clothes that couldn't hide the coldness in his dark eyes. "Because if you do, I'll make sure everyone at your fancy new job knows exactly what kind of woman you really are." Tanya's phone slipped in her sweaty palm. "What do you want, Jerome?" "What I've always wanted," he said with that charming smile that had once fooled her into thinking he cared. "Why an explanation for why you thought you could just disappear on me." "I left because you hurt me," Tanya said, backing toward the stairs. "Because you were controlling and violent. Jerome laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Baby, you're being dramatic. We had some fights, sure, but that's what couples do. And now look at you working for some billionaire wearing expensive clothes, acting like you're too good for the man who made you everything you are." "You didn't make me anything," Tanya said firmly, surprised by the strength in her own voice. "If anything, you tried to tear me down." Jerome's expression darkened. "Is that what you tell yourself?" "Because I remember it differently. I remember a scared little girl who couldn't even order her own food at restaurants until I taught her confidence. I remember someone who dressed like a church mouse until I showed her how to be beautiful." "You showed me how to be what you wanted me to be," Tanya corrected. "That's not the same thing." "And what are you now?" Jerome stepped closer and Tanya instinctively backed away. "Some rich man's pet. You think he cares about you? Men like that don't love women like us, Tanya. They use us and throw us away when something better comes along." "You don't know anything about Benjamin," Tanya said, but Jerome's words hid a fear she'd been trying to ignore. "Benjamin, is it?" Jerome's smile turned predatory. "Oh, I know plenty about Benjamin Cross. Billionaire tech mogul, never been. Married, known for his charitable work with disadvantaged communities." "Tell me, Tanya, which category do you think you fall into employee or charity case. The words stung because they echoed her own insecurities. Despite all of Benjamin's kindness, part of her had always wondered if his interest in her was genuine or she was just another person he felt sorry for. It doesn't matter what you think, Tanya said, though her voice wavered slightly. Doesn't it? Jerome pulled out his phone and showed her the screen. I've been watching you, baby. Following you to work, learning about your new life. One phone call to the right gossip blog, and everyone will know that Benjamin Cross's personal assistant is a woman who ran away from her boyfriend in the middle of the night, who's been lying about her past. I haven't lied about anything, Tanya protested. Haven't you? Did you tell him about us? About why you really left me about the police report you filed and then dropped? Jerome's eyes glittered with malice. I bet he doesn't know about any of that. Tanya's heart sank. She had filed a police report after Jerome had grabbed her by the throat during their last fight, but she dropped it when he promised to get help and convince her that pressing charges would ruin his career. It was a decision she regretted ever since. What do you want? She asked quietly. I want you to come home, Jerome said, his voice softening into the tone that had once made her believe he loved her. I want us to try again. I've changed, Tanya. I've been going to therapy, working on my anger issues. I realize now that I was wrong to let you go. You didn't let me go, Tanya said. I left because you were hurting me, and I'm sorry for that, Jerome said, reaching out as if to touch her face. Tanya flinched away and his expression hardened again. But running away isn't the answer. We belong together, and you know it. No, we don't, Tanya said firmly. We never did. You wanted to control me, not love me. And what does Benjamin Cross want? Jerome asked mockingly. You think he sees you as an equal? Please, you're a nice little project for him. Someone he can save to make himself feel good. But when he gets bored of playing hero, where will you be? Before Tanya could respond, she heard footsteps on the stairs behind her. She turned to see Benjamin climbing to the third floor, carrying a briefcase and wearing a concerned expression. Tanya, I brought those contracts you need to review for tomorrow. He stopped short when he saw Jerome standing in her apartment doorway. His eyes quickly assessed the situation. Tanya pressed against the wall, clearly distressed, and a man she obviously didn't want to see. Is everything all right? Benjamin asked, his voice calm, but with an edge that Tanya had never heard before. Everything's fine, Jerome said with false friendliness, stepping forward with his hand extended. I'm Jerome Patterson, Tanya's boyfriend, and you must be the famous Benjamin Cross. Benjamin didn't take Jerome's hand. Instead, he moved closer to Tanya, his presence immediately making her feel safer. Tanya mentioned she didn't have a boyfriend. Benjamin said evenly, ex-friend. Tanya clarified quickly, Jerome is my ex-boyfriend. Ah, Benjamin said, his tone growing cooler. And you're here because Tanya and I have some things to work out. Jerome said, his charm slipping slightly. Private things. From where I'm standing, it looks like the only thing Tanya wants to work out is how to get you to leave, Benjamin observed. Jerome's mask dropped completely then, revealing the anger that always lurked beneath his polished surface. This doesn't concern you, Cross. This is between me and my woman. I'm not your woman, Tanya said firmly, finding her voice again with Benjamin beside her. I haven't been for months. Exactly, Benjamin said, stepping slightly in front of Tanya. So I think it's time for you to go, Mr. Patterson. And if I don't, Jerome challenged, his hands clenching into fists. Benjamin's expression didn't change, but something in his posture shifted. Despite being a businessman rather than a fighter, there was a quiet strength about him that suggested he could handle himself if necessary. Then I'll call building security and have you removed, Benjamin said calmly. And if you continue to harass Tanya, I'll make sure the police are involved. For a moment, the three of them stood frozen in tableau. Then Jerome laughed bitterly. "This isn't over, Tanya," he said, backing toward the stairs. "You can't hide behind your rich boyfriend forever. Sooner or later, you'll remember who you really are." "I know exactly who I am," Tanya said, surprised by the strength in her own voice. "That's why I left you." Jerome's face twisted with rage, but Benjamin's steady presence kept him from doing anything more than glare. He turned and stalked down the stairs, his footsteps echoing in the stairwell. Tanya didn't realize she was shaking until Benjamin gently touched her arm. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. "I think so," Tanya said, though her voice was unsteady. "How did you know to come up here?" "I didn't," Benjamin admitted. "I really did bring contracts, but when I saw your door was open and heard voices, I was worried. I'm glad I trusted my instincts." Tanya felt tears prick her eyes. "Benjamin, I'm so sorry. I should have told you about Jerome, about why I really left my last job. I understand if this changes things between us. The only thing this changes," Benjamin said firmly, "is that now I know you're even braver than I thought. It takes incredible courage to leave someone who's hurting you." "You don't understand," Tanya said, the words tumbling out. "Some of the things he said about me being a charity case, about you not really caring." Benjamin stepped closer, his hands gentle on her shoulders. "Tanya, look at me." She lifted her eyes to meet his, seeing nothing but sincerity and warmth. "I don't care about your past with him," Benjamin said firmly. "I care about you, who you are now, who you're becoming, who you want to be. And I need you to know that my feelings for you have nothing to do with charity and everything to do with the amazing woman you are." "Your feelings," Tanya whispered. Benjamin's cheeks flushed slightly, but he didn't look away. "Yes, my feelings. I know this complicates things with work, and we'll need to figure that out. But I can't pretend anymore that what I feel for you is purely professional." Tanya felt her heart racing, but for the first time in months, it wasn't from fear. "I feel the same way," she admitted quietly. Benjamin's smile was radiant. "Good," he said, "because I'd really like to take you somewhere safe tonight. My penthouse has excellent security, and I think you could use some time away from here. I don't want to impose." "You're not imposing," Benjamin said gently. "You're accepting help from someone who cares about you. There's a difference." Looking into his kind eyes, Tanya realized that Jerome had been wrong about everything. Benjamin didn't see her as a charity case or a project. He saw her as a woman worth protecting, worth caring for, worth loving. "Okay," she said, surprising herself with how easily the word came. "I like that." As they gathered a few of her things and headed to Benjamin's car, Tanya felt a weight lifting from her shoulders. The past had tried to drag her backward, but Benjamin's presence reminded her that she was moving forward now. She was building a new life, a better life with someone who valued her for exactly who she was. Jerome had been wrong about one other thing, too. Benjamin Cross didn't want to control her or change her. He wanted to love her, protect her, and help her become the best version of herself. And for the first time since she'd run from her old life, Tanya was ready to let him. Benjamin's penthouse was nothing like what Tanya had expected. Instead of the cold, sterile space she'd imagined, it was warm and inviting, filled with comfortable furniture, soft lighting, and personal touches that made it feel like a home, rather than a showpiece. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered breathtaking views of the city. But what struck her most was how peaceful everything felt after the chaos of Jerome's unexpected appearance. "Are you hungry?" Benjamin asked as he set her overnight bag down in the guest room. "I could order something, or there's plenty in the kitchen." "I'm okay," Tanya said, though her stomach chose that moment to growl loudly. She'd been too nervous to eat. Lunch and the confrontation with Jerome had left her feeling shaky and empty. Benjamin smiled gently. "That didn't sound like, okay, come on, let me make you something." The kitchen was a chef's dream. Marble countertops, professional-grade appliances, and a view that stretched for miles. But what surprised Tanya was how lived in it felt. There were coffee rings on the counter, a collection of well-used cookbooks, and a refrigerator covered with photos and shopping lists. "You actually cook?" she asked, watching as Benjamin efficiently gathered ingredients from the refrigerator. "Love it," Benjamin said, pulling out pasta, vegetables, and what looked like homemade sauce. "It's one of the few things that completely clears my mind. No phone calls, no meetings, just me and the food." As he worked, Tanya found herself relaxing for the first time all evening. There was something soothing about watching Benjamin move around his kitchen with easy confidence, asking her opinion on seasonings and telling her stories about cooking disasters from his college days. "You don't have to do this," Tanya said as he set a plate of perfectly prepared pasta in front of her. "I know I don't have to," Benjamin said, sitting across from her with his own plate. "I want to. There's a difference." They ate in comfortable silence for a while, the warm food helping to settle Tanya's nerves. Finally, Benjamin set down his fork and looked at her with serious eyes. "Can I ask you something?" he said gently. "Of course." "How long were you with him?" Tanya took a deep breath. She'd known this conversation was coming, and Benjamin deserved to know the truth. "Year," she said quietly. "It wasn't bad at first. Jerome can be very charming when he wants to be. He made me feel special, like I was the most important person in his world." "What changed?" Benjamin asked. "He did. Or maybe he just stopped hiding who he really was," Tanya said, stirring her pasta absently. "It started small comments about my clothes, my friends, my job. He said he was trying to help me improve myself. Then it became controlling where I went, who I talked to, how I spent my time." Benjamin's jaw tightened, but he remained silent, letting her talk. "The first time he grabbed me, I was shocked. He apologized immediately, said he'd been stressed at work, promised it would never happen again. I believed him because I wanted to." Tanya's voice grew quieter, but it did happen again and again. Each time he had a reason, an excuse. He was under pressure. I had provoked him. He was sorry and would change. "But he didn't change," Benjamin said softly. "No, he got worse, more controlling, more angry, more." Tanya touched her throat unconsciously, remembering the last night. "The night I left." He put his hands around my neck. "I thought he was going to kill me." Benjamin's hands clenched into fists, and Tanya could see the anger burning in his eyes. Not at her, but for her. "I'm so sorry," he said. "No one should ever have to go through that." "I filed a police report the next day," Tanya continued, "but Jerome convinced me to drop it. He said he'd get help, go to therapy, that pressing charges would ruin his career and his family's reputation. He made me feel guilty for even filing it in the first place." "You had every right to file that report," Benjamin said firmly, "and you should never feel guilty for protecting yourself." "I know that now," Tanya said, "but at the time, I was so confused, so worn down. I just wanted it to be over. So I dropped the charges and disappeared." "How'd he find you tonight?" "I don't know," Tanya admitted. "I was so careful. I changed my phone number, my address, even my route to work. But Jerome's always been good at getting information when he wants it." Benjamin was quiet for a long moment, processing everything she told him. When he finally spoke, his voice was gentle but determined. "He's not going to hurt you again," he said. "I won't let him." "Benjamin, you can't just—" "Yes, I can," he interrupted softly. "Maybe I can't control what Jerome does, but I can make sure you're safe, and I can make sure he knows that if he comes near you again, there will be consequences." "What kind of consequences?" Tanya asked, worried about what Benjamin might be planning. "Legal ones," Benjamin assured her. "I have excellent lawyers, and harassment is taken very seriously these days. Plus, if he's been following you, watching you, that's stalking. There are laws against that." Tanya felt a mix of relief and gratitude wash over her. "Why are you doing this for me?" Benjamin reached across the table and gently took her hand in his. "Because I care about you, Tanya. More than I probably should, given that you work for me. But I can't help How I feel. How do you feel? Tanya asked, her heart racing. Like I've been waiting my whole life to meet someone. Like you, Benjamin said simply. Someone real, someone genuine, someone who makes me want to be a better man than I already am. Tanya felt tears prick her eyes. Jerome said that men like you don't really care about women like me, that I'm just a charity case to you. Jerome was wrong about a lot of things, Benjamin said firmly, but he was especially wrong about that. You're not a charity case, Tanya. You're a strong, intelligent, beautiful woman who's been through something terrible and came out the other side with your kindness and compassion intact. That's not someone who needs saving, that's someone worth cherishing. The sincerity in his voice broke down the last of Tanya's defenses. I was so scared to trust anyone again, she whispered. I know, Benjamin said, softly, and I'm not asking you to trust blindly. I'm asking you to let me prove that I'm worthy of your trust. They talked until well past midnight, sharing stories about their childhoods, their dreams, their fears. Benjamin told her about losing his parents in a car accident when he was 22, how it had driven him to build his company as a way of creating something lasting and meaningful. Tanya shared memories of her grandmother, who had raised her after her own parents died when she was 8. She sounds like an incredible woman, Benjamin said, when Tanya finished, telling him about Dorothy's fierce independence and endless love. She is. Tanya agreed. She's going to be suspicious of you, though. She doesn't trust easily, especially when it comes to men who want to help. I look forward to earning her approval, Benjamin said with a smile. And Tanya, I meant what I said about helping her with transportation. That wasn't just about work. I genuinely want to make her life easier. Why? Tanya asked, though she was beginning to understand. Because she's important to you, Benjamin said simply. That makes her important to me. The next morning, Tanya woke up in the most comfortable bed she'd ever slept in, feeling truly rested for the first time in months. Benjamin had already left for an early meeting, but there was fresh coffee waiting in the kitchen along with a note. Good morning, beautiful. Take your time getting ready. I've moved all our meetings to the afternoon, so you don't have to rush. B. When she arrived at the office later that morning, Nicole greeted her with a knowing smile. Good morning, sunshine, Nicole said. Mr. Cross asked me to let you know that building security has been updated with a photo and description of your ex. He won't be getting past the lobby. He thought of everything, Tanya said, touched by Benjamin's thoroughness. That's what he does for people he cares about, Nicole said warmly. And Tanya, I've worked here for 3 years and I've never seen him as happy as he's been since you started. Whatever this is between you two, it's good for both of you. The rest of the week passed quietly with no sign of Jerome. Benjamin insisted that Tanya stay at his penthouse until they could find her a safer apartment. And she found herself looking forward to their evenings together, cooking dinner, watching movies, talking about everything and nothing. I've been thinking, Benjamin said on Friday evening as they sat on his couch. Tanya curled up against his side. About your living situation. I need to find a new place. Tanya agreed. Somewhere Jerome can't find me. I have a better idea, Benjamin said carefully. I own several properties around the city. Investment properties mostly. There's a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment in a secure building about 10 minutes from the office. Doorman security cameras. The works. Benjamin, I can't afford. You wouldn't be paying market rate. Benjamin interrupted gently. Consider it part of your employee benefits package. Safe housing for key personnel. Tanya pulled back to look at him. Are you making up another company policy? Benjamin's cheeks flushed slightly. Maybe, but Tanya, I need to know you're safe. I can't concentrate on work when I'm worried about you. This is getting serious, isn't it? Tanya said softly. Us? I mean, it is for me, Benjamin admitted. Is that okay? Instead of answering with words, Tanya kissed him. It was soft and sweet and full of all the feelings she'd been afraid to acknowledge. When they broke apart, Benjamin's eyes were warm with love and promise. "I'll take that as a yes," he said with a smile. "That's definitely a yes," Tanya confirmed, her heart full of hope for the first time in years. The next weekend, Benjamin helped her move into her new apartment. It was everything he'd promised: spacious, secure, and beautifully furnished. But what meant the most to Tanya was the way Benjamin made it feel like home, hanging pictures they'd chosen together and filling the refrigerator with her favorite foods. "There's one more thing," Benjamin said as they finished unpacking the last box. He handed her a small, wrapped package. Inside was a set of keys not just to the apartment, but to his penthouse as well. "I want you to feel like you have a home with me, too," he said, "whenever you want it." Tanya felt tears of joy fill her eyes. After months of feeling displaced and alone, she finally had not one but two safe places to call home. More importantly, she had someone who loved her enough to share his life with her. "I love you," she said, the words coming easily for her, the first time in years. "I love you too," Benjamin replied, pulling her into his arms. "And I'm going to spend every day proving that you made the right choice in trusting me." As they stood in her new living room, surrounded by the evidence of their growing life together, Tanya realized that Jerome had been wrong about everything. She wasn't running from her past anymore. She was building a future. And Benjamin Cross wasn't trying to save her or control her. He was simply loving her, supporting her, and helping her become the best version of herself. For the first time since she'd left Jerome, Tanya felt truly free. Winter melted into spring as Tanya and Benjamin's relationship deepened. The past 3 months had been a revelation for both of them, learning each other's habits, sharing quiet moments, and building something beautiful together. Tanya had never felt so cherished, so valued so completely, herself with another person. At work, they maintained their professional boundaries, though everyone could see the subtle changes. The way Benjamin's face lit up when Tanya entered a room, how she anticipated his needs before he voiced them. The easy communication that spoke of two people who truly knew each other. "You two are disgusting," Nicole teased one morning as she watched Benjamin and Tanya coordinate his schedule with seamless efficiency in the best possible way. "What do you mean?" Tanya asked, though she was smiling. "You finish each other's sentences. You both reach the same files the same time. And yesterday I watched you hand him coffee, exactly 30 seconds before he realized he wanted some. It's like you're telepathically connected." Tanya laughed, but Nicole wasn't wrong. She and Benjamin had developed an easy rhythm that felt natural and right. More than that, he'd shown her what a healthy relationship looked like, one built on mutual respect, genuine care, and the freedom to be authentically herself. "I have a proposition," Benjamin said one evening as they cooked dinner together in his kitchen. It had become their favorite routine, both of them working to prepare the meal, talking about their days, stealing kisses when the other wasn't looking. "I'm listening," Tanya said, stirring the sauce while Benjamin chopped vegetables with professional precision. "The company's annual charity gala is next month," he said. "It's a big event, black tie, 500 guests, major donors and clients. I'd like you to come with me." Tanya's hand stilled on the spoon. "As your assistant, as my girlfriend," Benjamin said firmly. "I want everyone to know how important you are to me." "Benjamin, are you sure that's wise?" Tanya asked, though her heart raced with excitement at the idea. It could complicate things at work. "Let me worry about that," Benjamin said, moving behind her to wrap his arms around her waist. "Besides, half the company already knows we're together. We're not exactly subtle. We're not." Tanya leaned back against his chest, loving the solid warmth of him. "Honey, yesterday you had a conference call with my fabric softener," Benjamin said with a laugh. "You've been doing my laundry and forgot to change loads. The entire marketing team heard you apologize to Downy Fresh." Scent. Tanya groaned with embarrassment. "I was mortified. It was adorable," Benjamin assured her, pressing a kiss to the top of her head. And it made everyone realize that you're not just my assistant. You're someone who cares enough about me to do my laundry. I like taking care of you. Tanya admitted. Is that weird? It's one of the things I love most about you, Benjamin said softly. No one's ever taken care of me the way you do. Not because you have to, but because you want to. The gala was everything Tanya had imagined and more. She'd spent weeks shopping for the perfect dress with Benjamin's enthusiastic input, finally settling on a stunning emerald green gown that made her feel like a princess. Benjamin wore a classic black tuxedo that emphasized his broad shoulders and kind eyes. You look breathtaking, he told her as they stood in front of his bedroom mirror, making final adjustments. You clean up pretty well yourself, Tanya said, reaching up to straighten his bow tie. Are you ready for this? With you by my side, I'm ready for anything. The ballroom was spectacular crystal, chandeliers, elegant floor arrangements, and a backdrop of the city lights twinkling through floor to ceiling windows. But what impressed Tanya most was how Benjamin moved through the crowd, introducing her to everyone, not as his employee, but as the woman he loved. This is Tanya Washington, he said proudly to client after client, donor after donor. She's brilliant. She keeps me organized and she makes me incredibly happy. How long have you two been together? Asked Margaret Chin, the CEO of a major nonprofit that Cross Industries supported. For months officially, Benjamin said, his arm warm around Tanya's waist. But it feels like I've been waiting for her my whole life. Margaret smiled knowingly. That's how you know it's real. When someone fits into your life so perfectly that you can't imagine how you live without them. As the evening progressed, Tanya found herself relaxing and enjoying the event. These weren't the intimidating, judgmental people she'd feared they would be. They were Benjamin's friends and colleagues, and they welcomed her warmly because they could see how happy she made him. You're amazing at this, Benjamin murmured in her ear as they swayed together on the dance floor. Everyone loves you. They love you, Tanya corrected. I'm just the accessory. You're not an accessory, Benjamin said firmly, spinning her gracefully. You're my partner in every sense of the word. The highlight of the evening came when Benjamin was called to the stage to speak about the company's charitable initiatives. Tanya watched from their table, her heart swelling with pride as he spoke passionately about using business success to make a positive impact on the world. None of this would be possible without the incredible team at Cross Industries, Benjamin said, his eyes finding Tanya in the crowd. But I want to give special recognition to someone who's helped me remember why this work matters. Someone who shows me every day that kindness and compassion aren't weaknesses, they're strengths. Tanya felt tears prick her eyes as the spotlight found her table. Tanya Washington has been more than my assistant for the past several months. She's been my inspiration, my partner, and the woman who's made me want to be the best version of myself. Tonight, I want everyone to know how grateful I am that she took a chance on a lonely billionaire who needed someone to remind him what really matters in life. The applause was thunderous, but all Tanya could see was Benjamin's radiant smile as he looked at her from the stage. When he returned to their table, she threw her arms around him, not caring who was watching. I can't believe you just did that, she whispered against his neck. I wanted everyone to know, Benjamin said simply. I'm not hiding how I feel about you anymore. Later that night, as they sat on his couch, still in their formal wear, sharing a bottle of champagne and rehashing the evening's highlights, Benjamin grew serious. Can I tell you something? He said, setting down his glass. Of course. Before I met you, I was successful but empty, Benjamin said quietly. I had everything money could buy, but I was lonely. I went to work. I came home. I repeated the cycle. I was existing, not living. And now, Tanya asked softly, now I wake up excited about the day because I get to spend it with you. I look forward to coming home because you're there. I make plans for the future because I can't imagine it without you. Benjamin took her hands in his. You didn't just change my life, Tanya. You gave me a life worth living. Tanya felt tears of joy spill down her cheeks. You did the same for me, she whispered. I was so broken when we met, so afraid of trusting anyone. But you were patient with me, kind to me, and you never made me feel like I wasn't enough. You were always enough, Benjamin said firmly. More than enough, perfect exactly as you are. They made love that night with a tenderness and passion that spoke of two hearts completely in sync. Afterward, as they lay tangled together in Benjamin's bed, Tanya marveled at how safe and cherished she felt his arms. Benjamin, she said into darkness, I am. Thank you for what? For seeing me, Tanya said simply, the real me, and for loving what you saw. Benjamin's arms tightened around her. Thank you for letting me see, he replied, and for loving me back. As spring turned towards summer, their relationship continued to flourish. Benjamin met Dorothy, who warmed to him immediately despite her initial suspicions. That man worships the ground you walk on, Dorothy told Tanya after Benjamin's first visit, and, more importantly, he respects you. That's rare, baby girl. I know, Grandma, Tanya said, her heart full. I'm very lucky. Luck has nothing to do with it, Dorothy said firmly. You chose well this time. Don't you forget that. At work, their relationship enhanced rather than complicated their professional dynamic. They brought out the best in each other. Benjamin became more considerate of his employees' personal lives, while Tanya gained confidence in expressing her ideas and opinions. I have a proposal for the employee wellness program, Tanya said during a staff meeting, no longer afraid to speak up in front of the leadership team. Let's hear it, Benjamin said encouragingly. What if we offered on-site childcare? I know several employees have mentioned struggling with daycare costs and logistics. If we provided that service, it could reduce stress and increase productivity. The room buzzed with excitement as others chimed in with additional ideas. By the end of the meeting, they'd outlined a comprehensive program that would benefit dozens of families. Brilliant idea, Benjamin told her afterward. See, I told you that you had excellent instincts for business. I never would have suggested it 6 months ago, Tanya admitted. Why not? Because 6 months ago, I didn't believe my voice mattered. Tanya said honestly, you taught me that it does. Your voice has always mattered, Benjamin said softly. I just helped you find the courage to use it. As summer approached, Tanya realized that she'd never been happier. She had meaningful work, financial security, a beautiful home, and most importantly, a man who loved her unconditionally. For the first time in her life, she felt truly valued and cherished. But even more than that, she felt like herself. Not the broken woman who'd fled from Jerome, not the scared girl who'd hidden in coffee shops, but the strong, capable, lovable woman she'd always been underneath the fear. Benjamin had seen that woman from the very beginning, even when she couldn't see herself, and in loving her, he'd helped her learn to love herself again. Summer arrived with a warmth that seemed to permeate every aspect of Tanya's life. She and Benjamin had been together for 6 months now, and their relationship had grown into something beautiful and unshakable. They weathered Jerome's attempt to contact her blocked phone calls, emails to her worked at security, intercepted, even a few more appearances at her old apartment building that the doorman had reported to police. Benjamin's lawyers had filed a restraining order that seemed to be working, and slowly, Tanya's fear had faded into the background. You look happy, Nicole observed one morning as Tanya hummed while organizing Benjamin's calendar. I am happy, Tanya said, not bothering to hide her smile. Happier than I ever thought possible. It shows, Nicole said warmly, and it's good to see. Mr. Cross is practically glowing. These days, too. Yesterday, he spent 10 minutes asking the mailroom staff about their kids and vacation plans. That's not the same man who used to work 16-hour days and eat dinner alone in his office. Tanya knew Nicole was right. Benjamin had changed, too, becoming more relaxed, more present with his employees, more willing to delegate so he could maintain a healthy work-life balance. They brought out the best in each other in ways that surprised them. Both. That evening, Benjamin surprised her with dinner at an intimate restaurant she mentioned wanting to try months ago. The small details he remembered never ceased to amaze her: how she liked her coffee, her favorite, flowers, the way she preferred quiet evenings to loud parties. What's the occasion? Tanya asked as they were, seated at a corner table with candles flickering between them. Do I need an occasion to take my beautiful girlfriend to dinner? Benjamin replied with a grin. No, but you have that look, Tanya said, studying his face. The same look you get when you're planning something. You know me too well, Benjamin admitted, reaching across the table to take her hand. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about something. Tanya's heart skipped a beat. That sounds serious. It is serious, Benjamin said, his thumb tracing gentle circles on her palm. Tanya, these past 6 months have been the best of my life. You've changed everything for me. How I see myself, how I see the world, what I want for my future. Benjamin, let me finish, he said, gently. I know we haven't been together very long in the grand scheme of things, but I've never been more certain of anything in my life. I love you, Tanya, not just because you're beautiful or smart or kind, though you're all of those things. I love you because you make me want to be the best version of myself. I love the way you laugh at my terrible jokes, how you always think of others before yourself, the way you made my house feel like a home. Tanya felt tears welling in her eyes at the sincerity in his voice. I love how you've never asked me for anything, but you've given me everything, Benjamin continued. Your trust, your heart, your future. I don't take any of that lightly. I love you, too, Tanya whispered, her voice thick with emotion, so much that sometimes it scares me. Why? Does it scare you? Benjamin asked gently. Tanya took a shaky breath. Because I never thought I could feel this safe with someone again. Because you've given me so much: a job, a home, security, love, and sometimes I worry that it's too good to be true. What if I told you that you've given me more than I could ever give you? Benjamin said, softly. I'd say you're crazy, Tanya said with a watery laugh. What could I possibly give someone who has everything? Purpose, Benjamin said simply. Before you, I was successful but aimless. I made money. I gave to charity, but I wasn't really living. You showed me what it means to care about someone more than yourself. You taught me that the best parts of life aren't the things you can buy. They're the moments you share with people you love. Benjamin, Tanya breathed, overwhelmed by his words. I'm not finished, he said, with a smile. You also gave me courage. Watching you rebuild your life, seeing how strong you are despite everything you've been through, it inspired me to be braver, too, to take risks, to open my heart to believe in something bigger than myself. I don't feel brave, Tanya admitted. Half the time I still can't believe this is real. It's real, Benjamin assured her, bringing her hand to his lips to press a gentle kiss to her palm. And it's forever if you'll have me. Tanya's heart stopped. What are you saying? I'm saying that I want to spend the rest of my life loving you, Benjamin said, his eyes never leaving hers. I want to wake up next to you every morning and fall asleep holding you every night. I want to build a family with you, travel the world with you, grow old with you. Benjamin, I'm not asking you to marry me tonight, Benjamin said quickly, seeing the overwhelmed expression on her face. I know we're still figuring things out, still building trust, but I wanted you to know how I feel, what I'm hoping for, because I can't imagine my future without you in it. Tanya felt like her heart might burst from happiness. You really want all of that with me? With you, Benjamin confirmed. Only with you. You're it for me, Tanya. You're my person, my home, my future. I want all of that too, Tanya said, tears streaming down her face now. I want to build a life with you, Benjamin. I want to be your partner in everything. Benjamin's smile was radiant as he reached across the table to wipe away her tears. "So we're doing this. We're really doing this. We're doing this," Tanya confirmed, laughing through her tears. "I love you so much, Benjamin Cross." "I love you too, Tanya Washington," Benjamin said, standing up to come around the table and pull her into his arms right there in the restaurant. "More than I ever thought possible." They kissed then, soft and sweet and full of promise, while the other diners smiled and a few even applauded. When they broke apart, both of them were glowing with happiness. "So what happens now?" Tanya asked as they sat back down, her hands still clasped in his. "Now we keep doing what we're doing," Benjamin said, "building something beautiful together, one day at a time. And when you're ready, really ready, I'll ask you properly." "How will you know when I'm ready?" Tanya asked, curious. "You'll tell me," Benjamin said with confidence. "Because that's who we are, Tanya. We talk to each other. We trust each other. We build this relationship together as equals." "Equals," Tanya repeated. "Love the way that sounded. I like that." "Good," Benjamin said, kissing her hand again. "Because that's what we are, partners in every sense of the word." They spent the rest of dinner making plans not just for their relationship, but for their shared future. Benjamin wanted to take her to meet his extended family. Tanya wanted him to visit her hometown and see where she grew up. They talked about travel, about children, about the kind of life they wanted to build together. "I have one request," Tanya said as they walked, hand in hand back to Benjamin's car. "Anything," Benjamin said immediately. "Can we keep working together? I know it's unconventional, but I love what we built professionally as much as personally." "I was hoping you'd say that," Benjamin admitted. "You're the best assistant I've ever had, but more than that, you make me a better leader. I don't want to lose that partnership." "So we'll figure out," Tanya said, "the personal and professional boundaries, how to make it work long term. We'll figure out together," Benjamin agreed, like we figured everything out. That night, they made love with new intensity, a new depth of feeling that spoke of two hearts completely committed to each other. Afterward, as they lay wrapped in each other's arms, Tanya marveled at how far she'd come. 6 months ago, she'd been afraid to trust anyone. Now, she was planning a future with a man who loved her unconditionally. She'd gone from hiding in coffee shops to speaking up in boardrooms, from living paycheck to having financial security, from feeling worthless to knowing she was cherished. "What are you thinking about?" Benjamin asked, his voice sleepy but content. "How lucky I am," Tanya said honestly. "How grateful I am that you saw something in me worth saving." "I didn't save you," Benjamin said, firmly, his arms tightening around her. "You saved yourself. I just loved you while you did it. We saved each other," Tanya said softly. "You were lonely. I was broken. And somehow we fit together perfectly." "Perfect," Benjamin agreed, pressing a kiss to the top of her head. "That's exactly what we are together." As she drifted off to sleep in the arms of the man she loved, Tanya felt a peace she'd never experienced before. She was safe, she was loved, and she was home. The future stretched out before them, bright with possibility and promise. For the first time in her life, Tanya Washington knew without a doubt that she was exactly where she belonged. 6 months later, as autumn painted Chicago, in brilliant shades of gold and crimson, Tanya stood in front of her bedroom mirror, adjusting the necklace Benjamin had given her for their 1-year anniversary. It was a delicate gold chain with a small heart pendant, engraved with their initials. Simple but perfect, just like everything else about their relationship. "You look beautiful," Benjamin said from the doorway, his eyes warm with admiration as he took in her appearance. She'd chosen a deep blue dress that made her feel confident and elegant, exactly how Benjamin always made her feel. "Thank you," Tanya said, turning to face him. "Are you going to tell me where we're going yet?" "Nope," Benjamin said with a mischievous grin. "It's a surprise, but I promise you'll love it." They've been planning this evening for weeks. A celebration across industries' his most successful year yet, and of the employee wellness programs that Tanya had helped implement, the on-site child art center was a huge success. The flexible work arrangements had improved productivity and morale, and the company had been featured in several magazines as one of the best places to work in Chicago. "The car is here," Benjamin said, offering her his arm. "Shall we?" The surprise turned out to be a private dinner on the roof of the Cross Industries building, transformed into an intimate garden with twinkling lights, fresh flowers, and a spectacular view of the city skyline. Their table was set for two with candles, flickering in the gentle breeze and soft music playing from hidden speakers. "Benjamin, this is incredible," Tanya breathed, taking the magical scene. "How did you and did you?" "I had some help," Benjamin admitted, leading her to their table. Dorothy actually suggested the location. She said, "You've always loved rooftops because they make you feel like you're on top of the world. You talked to my grandmother about this?" Tanya asked, touched that he'd included Dorothy in his planning. "She's family," Benjamin said simply. "Of course, I talked to her." As they settled into their seats, Tanya noticed that there were more people arriving on the rooftop, familiar faces from the office, her grandmother being escorted by Nicole, even some of the security guards who had become her friends over the past year. "What's going on?" Tanya asked, confusion and excitement warring in her chest. "Well," Benjamin said, standing up and straightening his tie nervously, "I thought it was time I made good on that promise I made a few months ago." Tanya's heart stopped as Benjamin reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. The entire rooftop fell silent as he dropped to one knee beside her chair. "Tanya, Washington," Benjamin said, his voice strong but filled with emotion. "1 year ago, you changed my life by trusting me with your heart. You've made me a better man, a better leader, and a better human being. You've shown me what real love looks like. Patient, kind, generous, and true." Tanya felt tears streaming down her face as Benjamin opened the box to reveal the most beautiful ring she'd ever seen. A classic solitaire diamond set in platinum, elegant and timeless. "I don't want to spend another day without knowing that you'll be my wife," Benjamin continued. "Will you marry me, Tanya? Will you let me love you for the rest of our lives?" "Yes," Tanya whispered, then louder. "Yes, of course. Yes." The rooftop erupted in cheers and applause as Benjamin slipped the ring onto her finger with shaking hands. It fit perfectly, and Tanya wondered how he'd manage that without her noticing. "I borrowed one of your other rings and had it sized," Benjamin said, reading her expression. "With Dorothy's help, of course. You've been planning this for a while," Tanya said, admiring the way the diamond caught the light. "Since the day you told me you loved me," Benjamin admitted, pulling her into his arms. "I've been carrying that ring around for 3 months, waiting for the perfect moment." "This is perfect," Tanya assured him, kissing him deeply while their friends and family cheered around them. The celebration continued with dinner, champagne, and heartfelt toasts from everyone who had watched their love story unfold. Dorothy embarrassed Tanya with stories from her childhood. Nicole shared funny anecdotes about their early days working together. And Patricia from accounting got everyone laughing with her impression of Benjamin's love-struck expressions whenever Tanya entered a room. "I have one more surprise," Benjamin said as the evening began to wind down. "More surprises?" Tanya laughed. "I don't think my heart can take it. This one's different," Benjamin said, his expression growing serious. "It's not just for you. It's for us, for our future." He led her to a quiet corner of the rooftop, where a large easel held a presentation board covered with a cloth. "What is it?" Tanya asked. "Our next adventure," Benjamin said, pulling away the cloth to reveal architectural plans and photos. "I've been working with a developer to create something special. Affordable housing for families transitioning out of difficult situations, women leaving abusive relationships, single parents getting back on their feet, people who just need a safe place to rebuild their lives. Tanya studied the plans, her heart swelling with pride and love. The complex was beautiful townhouses and apartments designed to feel like homes rather than temporary housing, with community gardens, a child care center, and support services. It's called the Dorothy Washington Community Center, Benjamin said softly. Named after the woman who raised the most incredible person I know, Benjamin, Tanya whispered, overwhelmed by the thoughtfulness of the gesture. But here's the thing, Benjamin continued. I don't want to just fund this project. I want us to run it together as partners, as husband and wife. You want to leave Cross Industries? Tanya asked, surprised. I want to evolve it, Benjamin corrected. Turn it into something bigger than just a tech company. I want to use our success to create real change in people's lives the way someone once created change in mine. The way I created change in yours, Tanya asked. The way we created change in each other, Benjamin said firmly. Tanya, you showed me that business success means nothing if you're not using it to help people. This project, our project, it's how we can make a real difference. Tanya looked at the plans again, imagining the families who would call this place home, the children who would play in the gardens, the women who would find safety and hope within these walls. When do we start? She asked. Benjamin's smile was radiant. As soon as you say yes. I already said yes, Tanya pointed out. To marrying me, Benjamin clarified. Now I'm asking if you'll say yes to building this dream with me, to being my partner, in business and in life. Yes, Tanya said without hesitation, to all of it, to everything to you. As they kissed under the stars, surrounded by the people who loved them most, Tanya marveled at the journey that had brought her to this moment. A year ago, she'd been hiding in a coffee shop, afraid and alone. Now she was engaged with the love of her life, planning a future that would help other people find the same hope and safety she discovered. I have something for you, too, Tanya said as her guests began to leave. What's that? Benjamin asked. A promise, Tanya said, taking his hands in hers. I promise to love you with everything I have, to be your partner in all things, to build this beautiful life with you day by day. And I promise to never forget where we started. Two lonely people who found each other when we needed it most. That's the best gift you could give me, Benjamin said softly. Actually, Tanya said with a shy smile, there's one more thing. I've been thinking about what you said about building a family together. Benjamin's eyes widened with hope and excitement. And I think I'm ready to start trying, Tanya said softly. Not right away. Maybe after the wedding, once we're settled into our new life. But Benjamin, I want to have your children. I want to create a family with you. Benjamin's response was to lift her off her feet and spin her around, both of them laughing with pure joy. When he set her down, his eyes were bright with unshed tears. You have no idea how happy that makes me, he said, cupping her face in his hands. Tanya, we're going to have the most beautiful life together. I know, Tanya said, her heart full to overflowing. I can't wait to see what we build. 6 months later, on a perfect spring day in Dorothy's church, Tanya walked down the aisle toward the man who had changed her life in every possible way. She wore her grandmother's wedding dress, lovingly, altered to fit her perfectly, and carried a bouquet of white roses and baby's breath. Benjamin stood at the altar looking handsome and nervous, his eyes never leaving her face as she approached. When her grandmother, who was walking her down the aisle, placed Tanya's hand in his, he squeezed gently and whispered, You look like an angel, dearly beloved. The pastor began, but Tanya barely heard the words. She was too focused on Benjamin's face, on the love and promise she saw there, on the future they were about to officially begin together. When it came time for their vows, Benjamin went first. Tanya, he said, his voice strong and clear, You saved my life the day you trusted me enough to let me help you. You taught me what real love looks like. Patient, kind, selfless, and true. I promise to love you with that same devotion for the rest of my days. I promise to be your partner, your protector, your biggest supporter, and your safe place to fall. I promise to build our dreams together and to never take for granted the gift of your heart. Tanya's voice trembled with emotion as she spoke her own vows. Benjamin, you saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself. Strength, worth, possibility. You loved me back to life and showed me what I was capable of becoming. I promise to love you with everything I have, to be your partner in all things, to support your dreams as you supported mine. I promise to trust you with my heart, my future, and our family. And I promise to never forget that the best things in life aren't things at all. They're the people we love and the lives we build together. When the pastor pronounced them husband and wife, their kiss was soft and sweet and full of promise. The church erupted in applause as they walked back down the aisle hand in hand, officially beginning their life together as Mr. and Mrs. Cross. The reception was held at a beautiful garden venue with dancing under string lights and toasts. That made everyone laugh and cry. Dorothy gave a speech about watching her granddaughter bloom into the woman she was meant to be, and Nicole told embarrassing stories about their early days at the office that had everyone in stitches. But the moment that meant the most to Tanya came when Benjamin surprised her with one final gift. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, standing up during dinner, I have an announcement to make. As of today, 50% across. Industries and all of its assets are being transferred to my beautiful wife. The room gasped as Tanya stared at her new husband in shock. Benjamin, you can't, she started to protest. I can and I did, Benjamin said firmly but gently. Tanya, you're not just my wife. You're my equal partner in every sense of the word. We built this company's culture together. We planned its future together, and now we'll own it together. No prenups, no conditions, no strings attached. What's mine is yours now and always. But what if, Tanya began, overwhelmed by the magnitude of his gesture. What if what? Benjamin asked, sitting back down and taking her hands. What if you leave me? What if this doesn't work out? Tanya, I'm not worried about any of that because I know who you are. You're the most loyal, honest, loving person I've ever met. You didn't fall in love with my money. You fell in love with me, and I trust you completely. I don't know what to say, Tanya whispered, tears streaming down her face. Say, you'll help me spend the rest of our lives making the world a better place. Benjamin said simply. Yes, Tanya said, laughing through her tears. Always yes. As they danced their first dance as husband and wife, Tanya reflected on the incredible journey that had brought them to this moment. She thought about the scared woman who had grabbed a stranger in a coffee shop, desperate for protection. She thought about Benjamin's kindness, his patience, his unwavering belief in her worth. She thought about the love they built together, brick by brick, day by day. What are you thinking about? Benjamin asked, sensing her reflective mood. How far we've come, Tanya said softly. A year and a half ago, I had nothing. No job, no home, no hope. I was just trying to survive. And now, Benjamin prompted, now I have everything, Tanya said, looking into the eyes of the man who had changed her world. A husband who loves me, meaningful work, financial security, a future full of possibilities. But most importantly, I have love. Real, true, lasting love. We have love, Benjamin. Corrected gently. We have each other. And we're going to have the most beautiful life together. The most beautiful life. Tanya agreed, sealing the promise with a kiss that tasted like forever. As the song ended and their friends and family applauded around them, Tanya knew with absolute certainty that this was just the beginning. They would build a community center, help countless families find safety and hope, maybe have children of their own. Someday, they would face challenges and celebrate victories, grow old together and love each other through it all. But whatever the future held, they would face it together as partners, as equals, as two people who had found in each other the missing pieces of their hearts. The scared woman hiding in the coffee shop was gone forever, replaced by a confident, loved, cherished wife who knew exactly how valuable she was. And the lonely billionaire who had worked himself into isolation had been transformed into a man who understood that the greatest wealth wasn't in his bank account. It was in the love of the extraordinary woman dancing in his arms. Their love story had begun with a desperate embrace between strangers. It would continue for the rest of their lives as the greatest romance either of them could have imagined. Dear amazing viewers, thank you so much for joining Tanya and Benjamin on their incredible journey from strangers to soulmates. Their story reminds us that sometimes the most beautiful relationships begin in the most unexpected moments, and that true love sees our worth even when we can't see it ourselves. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What was your favorite moment in their love story? Do you believe in second chances at love? Have you ever had a moment where a stranger's kindness changed your perspective? And most importantly, what kind of love story would you like to see next? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps me create the stories that touch your hearts the most with love and gratitude.